We're live. Good evening, good night, everybody. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is actually really surreal. It really is. Like, y'all won't even understand. So tonight's live, it's my 1-year blog anniversary. Oh my goodness. I did not at all, for no reason, thought that I would get to this point. I really didn't. You know, a lot of people started things during this quarantine season that probably when they went back to school or when they went back to work, it just poof, disappeared. And I really didn't think I'd get here. But tonight's live chat is, I'm celebrating my blog anniversary today. And, good night. And so I'm just gonna tell you guys a little about my journey. I'm gonna tell you the backstory first, and then I'm going to bring my team on, and they're gonna talk about the roles that they play in making my blog what it is. So I'm just gonna get straight into it just off the bat. First, let me just introduce myself for people that don't know or whatever. My name is Kiaza. I am 23 years old. I am from Guyana. I am the eldest of 5. What else? I went to President's College. That's my alma mater. Purple blood all the way, all the time, every day. No kidding. Currently, I am a 4th-year medical student studying in Cuba. Currently, I have finished the theoretical part of my studies and will be I'm in my rotations. So first I did 3 years at the Escuela Latinoamericana de Medicina, which is in Havana, Cuba. And then I moved down to do my rotations in Santiago de Cuba. So that's where I am right now. So that's just basic information. Let's get into my writing. Now, me and writing have always had a relationship, but I guess in my younger years as a child, because I can remember writing little poems and stuff as a child, but I didn't consider it a talent. It wasn't something that I thought about. It was just something that I did. Always making up these little songs. And I remember me and one of my friends from church, we used to remix songs that we knew and, you know, like write over the lyrics and make it our own and all of that. And it was really cool, but it was just like, I didn't see it as a talent. I didn't recognize it as, oh my gosh, this is something that I'm good at. It was just something that I did. I used to write plays for church. I used to write poems for special events in church. I wrote dramatic pieces for other people to perform for events, like pageants and stuff. In school, I actually did calypso and dramatic poetry, but yeah, that was it. It's just like, it was just something that happened. I didn't take too much into it. But you see, eventually, when I actually realized that it was something that I relied on, something that was a part of me, something that I could use as an outlet, like an emotional outlet, it was when I came to Cuba and I was in pre-med. It's going away from home in a difference. At President's College, I was at boarding school, which means I was a living student, but I went home every weekend. I went to college, same thing. I was away from home, but I went home every weekend. Then I came to Cuba and there's no going home on the weekends. And that didn't really faze me until I realized that not only am I not going home on the weekends? I am missing events at home. My father's birthday, my friends' birthdays, anniversaries, parties. But when it hit me, actually, was I'm a Big Daddy's girl. Me and my father are very close. And every year in November, we would go to Dakota Circuit car racing, right? It's international. They have a track out there, and we would go and we have our favorite drivers and everything. And me and my father are there, you know, saying if Mac's gonna win this year, if he's gonna take back the crown and all of that. And it came to November, and I actually didn't even remember about the race. It's still afterward. My mother, I was talking to her and she's like, oh, your father went races today. So I was like, oh, thing. He's like, but then she's like, he went alone. Normally, we go to races, me, my dad, my brothers, and his co-workers, the other guys from his company that he works at and stuff. And so when my mother told me, she's like, he went alone. I'm like, what do you mean he went alone? Like, he went alone? Like, he didn't take my brothers, he didn't take his co-workers, nothing. He went by himself. And I was distraught because this was something that one of the events or one of the things that me and my father were very close doing and doing together, and I wasn't there. And the fact that he went by himself, he didn't take my brothers, he didn't go with anybody else. It kind of hit home for me that, oh, like for real, you were away from your family. You were not, there's no races for you. There's no Christmas morning breakfast. There's no New Year's parties. All of these things you are missing. And I lost it. I was distraught and I was there. I went outside. I'm crying. It was a mess. And then I stopped crying and I started writing. And I can't remember what I named that poem, but it was basically talking about emptiness and the decisions that we've made and how they impact our lives and the changes and stuff that happen, and you have to accept them. And even these losses, you have to learn to build on them. After that, when other situations like this occurred, I do the same thing. Whenever I'm feeling down or a situation happens, I write a poem about it. And eventually, that's how I'm like, oh, maybe this thing helps or something. But then, life got normal, things got better, and I stopped writing. Then, 2020, the lovely arrival of the coronavirus and the shutdown on quarantine, I am annoyed, I'm angry, I'm fed up of being inside. I want to go home, things not working out, groceries and everything is scarce, all of that. And I'm like, nah, I can't deal with this. But even though all of these stressful activities were happening, I didn't write. But I was reading, I was losing myself in books and on Facebook, and I found this page called Right About Now, where it has videos of spoken word and stuff. And I actually posted a spoken word piece on my WhatsApp status, and I think Brian responded to it. And I was telling him like, oh, I actually write, you know, but like, so he's like, oh, well, here what? You can send me a poem that you wrote and I can send you one that I wrote. So then I'm like, I don't have nothing. Changing phones and losing backup files and all of these things. I had nothing to show for all the pieces that I have written. I only had the ones like what I did for concerts or stuff. I didn't have the poems. That was the point. I didn't have the poems, and I'm like, I don't have anything. Like, I haven't written in so long, and the poems that I would have written before, I lost them. So then I'm like, give me something to write about. Give me a prompt, tell me something, and I'll write a poem now and send it to you. And he gave me a prompt, and it was like, when they say you do things, when you do things that you love, it's like riding a bike, you could always go back to it. That's exactly what happened. And the poem that I wrote is the one, it's already been published, the one that y'all would know as The Joining. And the prompt was, the sun and the moon became one, or the sun and the earth became one. I cannot remember. Yes, I can't remember. But the strangest thing that happened, the reason why I went on doing it was because two things happened. The next day, so this conversation was at night. The next day I was out, I was walking in the street, and now randomly I started getting lines in my head. So I take out my phone and I write them down. So I wrote another poem that day. And then the second thing was that the poem that I wrote that I sent to Brian, I was reading it and I thought that something was wrong with it. I'm like, I can't sense the direction in which the piece is taking. So I'm there and I'm uneasy, and I'm sending it to other people because I'm like, I'm seeing there's something going on. Like, read the poem and tell me what you see, what do you understand. It's only after the next day that I realized that the poem was a double entender. It had two meanings. Depending on how you looked at it, it had two separate, completely on the other ends of things, topics or meanings. And I wrote that not even realizing that that is what I was doing. And then it really showed me that the amount of potential that I had and the amount of the abilities that I didn't even know that I had. So I thought about it and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to continue writing, I'm going to continue writing. And I'm going to share my poems with other people so that they won't just live and die with me. And the next time I tell somebody, oh, I write poems, and they ask me, oh, can you send me one? I can actually have something to show them. And I started sending my poems and stuff that I'm writing, and I'm sending my poems to my friends on WhatsApp and everything. And my friend Genine, she's like, write a book. And I'm like, I'll think about it, man, you know, and stuff. And then next thing you know, I check my phone and she messages me and she's sending me writing sites that poets used to publish. She's sending me blogs. She's sending me, okay, look Instagram, you could do Instagram poetry. The girl went and did the research. I'm there like, yeah, man, I gotta look at it. And Genine went. She read the document, she's sending me stuff, and she's sending me the list of pages I can use and stuff, and she's like, you have nothing, you have no excuses, we're not doing anything, first thing. Like, why wait? Just do it, just go, just have a start. And that there birthed what you guys now know as Key Sparks. So I had to get a name. I posted about the name before. Key Sparks basically is Keys, which is a call name that I have from one of my friends. He calls me Keys. And like, you can say K-I-Z, but his own, he always writes it K-E-Y-S. So he calls me Keys. And then the Sparks is talking about the fact that that's how I get my inspiration. I could be doing anything, I could see any person or whatever, and I just get these random messages start coming in my head. I have lines coming in and I just write them down, and later I go through it and put it together, and that's all that happens. So Key Sparks, and there it is. One of the biggest issues and one of the things that I was waiting on and taking long to start the blog was trying to get a logo that I thought reflected my personality and what I wanted the blog to say. And I kind of fiddled with it for a while. I was using one, the first one I had, that my brother made, and then later on, when it was my birthday actually, Jody did a design for my birthday cake, and that is actually what I used for the blog logo, right? So that's basically my behind the scenes. So right now what's gonna happen, I'm gonna bring on my team, Genine, that basically functions as my manager, and Brian, that is my editor. I'm not going to do any big introductions, but so Genine is a fourth-year medical student with me, fitness enthusiast. What else? An amazing photographer. That, guys, if y'all see my Instagram pictures, that's Genine, okay? Let's just get that right. Brian is my, where's Brian? Brian is taking long. All right, there he is. Brian is in 5th year, and he works with pictureless photography. He is also an amazing writer, amazing. And listen, his advertising skills are top notch. You get me? So don't bring the MD that is going to be at the end of his name. Y'all checking for your advertisements, okay? Do that. So, before I go into the questions and stuff that I prepared and whatever, I just want to say thank you to the two of you. Brian, you put up with my 2 o'clock in the morning. I stuck. Listen, I write whatever time I write, and that is it. So I message. Whenever I finish writing, I send whatever I write to Brian. Guys, there is nothing on my page. Nothing. Not a single poem that y'all ever see that didn't go through Brian first. Nothing gets posted without his approval. I actually wrote a poem this Tuesday that I was going to publish because I don't like not posting on posting. And he was like, man, it's good, but it's not theirs. And as y'all would see, they had no poem that come out on Tuesday. See? Good. Genine. Janine reminds me to contact the outside world, which means that it's, did you remember to post a thing on Facebook? Oh, shucks, I forget. Or you have to be more active, or use your social media more, or just everything. Everything on the other side of writing, Genine handles that. Preparing for the lives. I've done 3 lives for my Unlock series, which I'm discussing topics of the different poems that I've written. Genine sees that I don't ramble, and I have everything prepped. I have my hair done before I come on here, and all of that. That's Genine. And honestly, I am so grateful for all the work that y'all do with me, and all the nonsense that y'all put up with from me. So I just want to publicly, whatever was shake your head. So anyways, all the nonsense you put up with, I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to take this time out to just thank my followers, the people that read every week, the people that send me messages, the people that tell me how I would have connected with them. I want to thank y'all for inspiring me. Thank you to Jody, that almost every week without fail, you see time to get sparked on her status. It's one thing for somebody to like your writing and tell you, oh my God, this is so nice. But it's another thing when they like it enough to make sure that other people see it and other people get the same effect that they get. So, getting into it with my team. So the first question right? What was your initial reaction? Like, Brian, in terms of like when I first sent you that first poem, like, well, what did you think about it? And Genine, the same thing. Because Janine's reaction is what sparked this whole write a blog, whatever, whatever. But so we're gonna take Brian first, and then Genine on that. The first initial, this child probably do a little thing, you know.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
The first initial reaction was, what was it, no?
The joining. Remember? Okay, let me
Oh,
remind you.
yes.
When the poem was about relationships and like toxic relationships, and at the same time, if you read it the other way, read it another way, it was about global warming.
I remember. My first initial reaction was, you're just like me because you have that talent, but you decide not to use it. And honestly, I was like, yo, why are you hiding your talent? Like, really and truly, what's the excuse? So, it was kind of a wake up thing for me too, because I was doing the same thing, literally. I was doing the same thing. So that's the reason I was so hard on you, because I was actually doing the same thing. But what I realized that with the potential you have, you're basically your biggest critic. So basically what happened is that you always say, oh, I can't do better than this, I'm just doing things on the side, blah, 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 blah. So that's basically what stopped you from doing it. So I was like, is that really an excuse? Like, that's your real reason for not writing? And if that's your only reason, then you clearly need to write. But the blog was a bigger step, because the blog idea, I really liked it, but I didn't expect it to be this big. Like, it blew up more than I expected it to. So, yeah.
Genine?
Well, you know my reaction already. I was just like...
She said, like, girl, write a book.
Where that idea came from, though, was an old friend of mine. Like, she was a lawyer, but she passed away. And it's like after she passed, like, there was a little charity event that she used to hold that they did like a little service for her, and they read her poems, and I didn't even know she did that. So that's where that idea came from, and I was like, why you're not doing anything with your talent? And to make it worse, like, our mental health was on 0 last year. So I was just like, if you're that good and we have nothing to do, why not pick up something like a passion project, something that you could benefit from? We had no control over what was going on with we're not going to go into that negativity, but we had no control over what was happening. So at least having this sort of hobby, this sort of project, you'd be able to control that aspect of your life. And, that controlling that, putting your creativity into something, putting your talent, focusing your talent somewhere, that would actually add to your happiness. So that's what I was literally thinking at that point. And I did the research because I'm like, I know how people are. You give them the resources, you give them everything, and they don't do anything. So I just spoon feed you, and I'm like, okay, let me at least give her options so she can see that this is possible. This is possible. You have Instagram as an outlet. You have different posts, blog posts, different pages, whatever you could use. No excuses, okay?
Now, I'm still trying to figure out how to go about or to start writing this book, because I actually really do want to write a book. But two things I want to do. I don't really want it to be filled with poems that I've already written that are already on the internet. So the book is going to have new content, different content. Okay?
Okay. Interesting.
But at the same time, listen, I am so glad for what Genine did, because it's like, she was on me. Did you go on the site today? Did you check out the thing? Because I am telling you guys, if you had left it up to me, it didn't get it done. It wasn't going to get done. And not only that, technically, between the night that I wrote that poem and when I started the blog, it was about 3 weeks to a month tops.
Wow.
I couldn't do that. It was just, yeah, man, because Brian's gonna come after me because Brian's gonna come after me because he's still pressing me about doing spoken word and doing the videos. You see, I'm gonna get to it, okay?
That's the next step.
That's the next step. But the thing is, like, I'm kind of a perfectionist in a way, and it's like I don't like hearing my own voice. I don't like sometimes if I feel like when I write it, I don't do it out loud, and that is something that I've actually started doing it out loud. So now it's getting to get myself to the full manifestation of the emotions that I felt when I wrote it, because sometimes I don't get back the same deep feeling, because most of the time when I write the initial piece, it's because of something that happened, and you know, then the wound is fresh, the joy is fresh, whatever would have been the inspiration, it's fresh in your mind, so you feel it more. And that's what I want to accomplish. I don't want to go half on it, because that is one of the reasons why one of the reasons I always check with Brian, right, is because, like, thank you, is because I know that I can be artistic, but there are so many artists out there. I don't want to just be another artist, another person that is good with words. Somehow I feel like more or less I have managed to put my emotions on paper. That was one of the things that people told me that they felt, and they recognized that you can read, even though you're just reading it, you can feel what I'm saying. So I want, when I move over to performing, when I move over to other stuff, that it's still the same. It still has the same level of emotion, basically. So, thank you to the people in the comments. I just want to say that before, but yeah. Now I'm giving my team the opportunity to throw me under the bus, and they're gonna tell you guys about some issues that they've had to deal with my specialness. So I don't know who wants to go first.
You go first.
Okay, well, my first issue, okay, I'm not going to call it issues. I'm just going to say that it's things that you could have improved upon. Because I'm not a social media specialist or anything, but I've just seen some posts and other pages that you could take a couple, one, two things from. So one of the things that I saw that you need to improve on was being like a little bit more intentional with your posts and cleaning up your page a bit and your bio on Instagram. Now that's Instagram, right? So, people don't want to come to your page and you saying like you're a writer, you this, you that, and then your posts don't match that. So like random posts, I was just like, honey, I had to say it from I don't know how people take criticism, but if that's what you're going for and you're trying to rebrand yourself as that, it needs to be reflected in both your bio and your feed.
Because first, so when Genine told me that I need to branch out more when it comes to posting, because basically I have a WhatsApp broadcast list. I posted on my WhatsApp status, I post on my Facebook. I actually have a Key Sparks Facebook page too. The poems are automatically uploaded there from the website. The website that I'm using is WordPress. So I post on those pages. Initially when I started, I I used to go so far as to message people on Instagram, DM people on Instagram, message people on Messenger and stuff. And then eventually I'm like, this is a lot of work to be messaging people, especially if like you message them and they leave it on red, or they message them and sometimes you go in the chat and you see you're sending them all the poems and they haven't seen any yet. And it was like, Lord God, you know what? Whoever see it, who ain't see it, and I'm gonna leave it as that. And it was really something for me to try to keep pushing it and pushing my content, because it's like, you know that yes, you want to bring a message, you know that you want to share this particular scenario, but at the same time, everything isn't for everybody, and you still have to level. So like, I'm still learning how to balance sharing and at the same time not putting my work into negative spaces. I'm going to touch on that like when I finish when these guys done. But that is one of the things that I have issues with. Like, if I know somebody's rejecting what I'm doing, it's very difficult to try to open up to put it in other spaces and to put it into that same environment that I see as negative or non-receptive. Yeah, but yeah.
That was actually another one of my points. I'll touch it in a while. But so the next one was improving like the quality of your content. Why I say that is because this is like starting from scratch on your page, because this is not a hot girl post, this is not a trap post, this is not nudity, which is the culture of Instagram. That's the fact of the matter. Like, that's just a fact. That's the culture of the app that you want to grow on. So you need to get in your head that, okay, I'm not posting these things, so this will not do as well as those types of posts would do on Instagram. So, and sadly, your friends might not support what you're doing, as you said. People, like, you're not for everybody. Your friends might not support what you're doing. They might not even open the link. They might not even like something as simple as liking or sharing. They might not even want to buy what you're selling at full price, which is sad, and that's just the reality of the thing. So you have to get in your head. That is life. That's what I kind of needed you to get in your head, and I'm happy that you took that from me. I just wanted that to rub off on you. That's it, guys. People are not going to like what you do. People are not going to always be receptive to what you're doing. Instagram is all about nudity and all of that stuff. So just come to just be okay with the fact that content will not do as well as your other content. And yeah, also reminding you to cross promote on other apps. So you use Twitter, you use Facebook. I don't use these things like barely, you know that. So that's why I'm like, use what you have to your advantage. Instagram is not a search engine. You don't type in fitness, whatever. So sometimes you have to actually put in your name, writer, or whatever, you know? So it's not a search engine. YouTube is one, so you can discover people there. But for Instagram, it's more like the explore page and all that algorithm stuff. So yeah, but making sure that you have quality content and stuff that's relatable, that's kind of what I wanted you to get at. And then it would be like being more consistent since we got more time, because I realized like last year you were consistent on your blog, but then on Instagram it was not as, you know, consistent as that. So yeah.
True.
Touching on Instagram, I created a Instagram page for my poetry, right? But okay, so first, what happened was, I don't want to, you know what, I'll come back to that. Let's take Brian and then I'll come back to that because it's related to something else. Let's go back.
All right, cool. Let's start with the first problem. My first initial problem was you let people get into your head too often. Like when you're trying to do something like write a poem, if you think the poem won't be received well, you tend to like take a step back. I feel like you should be unapologetic. Just write what you want. Talk your shit. That's all. I feel like you tiptoe around everything. That as a writer, you just don't care. Writing, the thing is, right, when you write something, who likes it, they will support it. Who doesn't, then who cares? Like, literally, who cares? You're writing because you love it, not because you're trying to, well, okay. You know, sometimes you want to change the world and whatever, but you're writing because you actually love it. No, I'm serious, because, you know, you want to change the world, you want to be that spark in someone's brain, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like as something that you actually love, just write, just do it. And don't force it. That's the next point, because you tend to force things sometimes. And sometimes I read your, I don't know if I should say this on live, but sometimes I read your poems, I'm like, hell's this? And I had to, you know, I had to like check you a lot. No, because sometimes I can tell when you literally force the words. Sometimes they flow, like they really flow. And then other parts, you're like, who wrote this? Who the hell wrote this? Who took your poem from you and wrote this shit? That's what happened. That's basically what I, sometimes in my head, I'm like, yo, what are you doing, dog? Like, literally. But I realize that you like, if you're writing something in the morning, you start off nice and then you pressure yourself to finish. No. Well, for me, poems don't work like that for me. If I write, it usually just flow out. If I force it, it could be like fragmented and it would not sound good. So when you're writing, you have to just let it happen. Yeah, just let it happen.
Do you think that's why, like, having a set date kind of adds pressure to it for her?
It does add pressure to me. And the thing about her, right? It's a lot of things. But yeah, like in terms of deadlines gets her off. I feel like the problem is that, yes, you have a deadline, right? But remember that you're trying to put out something that's acceptable. By me, of course, that's going to go outside. So then it has to be something that you actually put your heart into, your soul into, not something that you know, tomorrow's deadline, let me write some shit up. No, something you actually, you took a piece of your soul and you put it on paper. That's the poems that you should be putting out, not something that, you know, okay, I'm good, so I'm going to write something subpar, so people will still like it. No, you have to actually, you know, as Genine said.
There.
The thing. Oh, and the next thing, last one, I'm not going to say all of them tonight. You always limit yourself with spoken word. I feel like spoken word is the next level for you. It is something, I think you said that you hate hearing your voice or whatever. As a poet, what? How do you read your poems? Do you read your poems? Like, Richard, do you read your poems? Whose voice you use when you read your poem? Tell me, whose voice you use?
It's not the same as the one in my head.
That means not your voice then. That means not your voice. Because as a person who writes poems, you read it in your voice. Well, I hope you do. I know if it's Beyonce's voice you're using or somebody else's voice, but use your voice. And then that's how you get accustomed to hearing your voice from reading your poems. So the spoken word kind of gives them more, it kind of connects the dots. Because hearing the person speak about the poem or how they say certain words, how they express themselves, is what connects us to the outside world. You understand? So spoken word is actually something that really puts you on the next level. And it's something I'm going to do. So look out for my thing. I'm going to do a spoken word very soon. But yeah. So yeah, so I can't be telling you to do it. I'm not gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna lead the way. And then you follow me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so related, I paused the one of the points I was talking about with what Genine said because it related to something else. So WordPress is a very, I don't know if to say interactive site, but it gives you information. It has insights, right? When I started, and it gives you like you can tell where the person clicked on the piece from. Like if somebody gets the link from Instagram, it shows me that it came from Instagram. If they come from Facebook, it shows me that it came from Facebook, or if it came from outside or wherever. And So I remember when I first started, I used to get 100 views on post night. Between 7 o'clock and midnight, I used to hit 100 and stuff or whatever. And I was so excited by all the messages and the reception and, all that, I was, hype on it. And then it started going down and reaching a plateau. And I started to get annoyed. And I'm like, what is happening? So like, hold on, I don't get. I'm like, what happened? As far as I knew, I didn't change anything. I'm talking about current topics and stuff. So where did all my followers go? What happened here? But then what happened is that I realized like 2 weeks it annoyed me. And then I remember I messaged my cousin and I'm like, you didn't read the poem yet because you didn't tell me nothing and stuff. But then whatever piece I published that particular day, somebody messaged me. And somebody messaged me and they're telling me about their situation. Like whatever I wrote about, they told me about what part of their life that spoke to what happened with them relating in the similar situation and stuff, and we talked. And I felt so good that this thing that I'm doing for me, because most of the time, a lot of the times, except the time like Brian talking about for sure, like my deadlines and stuff mix me up, and when I'm not inspired, but I'm trying to make something because, I should have something about this or I should have something about that. But a lot of it's conversations with people, it's doing things. And I was so glad that I got to connect to someone else like that. And then is when I ease up on checking stats. Now I forget to check stats. I forget to check stats till the other day I went through my site, like looking through everything, and realized that I have comments and likes and messages on the website that I have not seen or responded to for months. Because I don't look at it anymore. Now I have learned that the importance of what I'm doing, or not learned, I had to remember and come down from that high that I was on to realize that it's about the message. It's about, I felt this way, so I put it on paper. And when I send it to you, it's to relate, it can probably relate to something that has happened to you. So you get to feel it and you get to release it into what you read, because I wrote it up for you. You probably couldn't form the words. You probably couldn't get out what is it that was on your chest, and I'm helping you do that. So that is something that I had to just let go. And now it's more on, when I write something, it depends on like different persons. I would talk about different topics, because it's like, oh, I said this. Like for instance, Phaedra, who always keeps me on my toes with things that I say, or go back and forth on topics. And it's like, there are even things that I would discuss with other people. Like, for instance, I just finished doing the Respectfully series. Respectfully series, I started writing the piece after the situation had happened, and then me and Genine went out, and we were talking about that same thing, and that's why I tried to, when we talked it through, it made me think about all these different things, and I just, you put them down and you work on them. Like for instance, Brian, you remember Superwoman? Is Superwoman Superhero?
Superhero.
I wrote, that poem took 3 months to write, because what I got from the picture that I wrote it about, I didn't want to go half-assed on it. I did not want to give it anything less than what it gave me. So there is that. Negativity.
Wait, hold on, hold on,
Um,
hold on.
we're moving on.
No, hold on. About the same thing you said about checking stats and checking views, right?
Mhm.
You have to remember that. Like, remember when an artist just bust, first time and come out, just starts like that. Everybody's trying to see their songs or whatever, right? But if you're producing the same type of vibe constantly, right? People get used to it. So then people won't check as often because there's nothing new. It is new content, yes, but it's nothing that's out of the norm because they already gotten used to you. That's why you need to change how change how you show your poems or how you view certain things or how I don't know. You have to change. Let's change certain aspects. Like Ginny was saying, it's how you push out the information. It's how you
Yeah,
push out.
I told you that what I had to get back to is this website showed me that I wasn't getting from Instagram. Now here's
Mm.
the thing.
For the old thing.
I DMing people, a whole bunch of people on Instagram. I was every week changing the link to that particular poem that I posted in my link, posting the picture for the poem in it on Instagram and saying, oh, go check out the link on my bio. Sending to people, so between that, sending to people's DM, putting it in my bio, putting it on the page itself with the picture and then say, go and check the link for the poem. 2 views from Instagram. So I was like, nah, Instagram ain't it. This is just headache for me. I park Instagram in a car now. I said, they can get me. I was just like, okay, Instagram only want to Instagram that this not working out. So let me just put that in the car now. So I focused on Facebook and my WhatsApp. And then what I would always do is just like I would tell people on WhatsApp, please share the link with a friend. Please share the link with a friend. Post it on your status, let somebody else see it. You talking all this, oh my God, that was amazing. Yes, share it then. And Genine was talking about the way, like, yeah, your friends, and I have, well, that's not good. You just have to, everything is not for everybody. It really isn't. And sometimes, like, so recently I had a situation where okay, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but okay.
Call
I
him,
had a
man.
situation,
Call him.
yeah, I had a situation where I was getting negative reception about my poems. But the problem, it was funny to me. The problem wasn't about the quality of the poems or the poems being bad or nothing. They're literally, why you always posting poems? Why are you sending this here? Nobody in reading it. And I'm like, you don't know that nobody's reading it. And why does me pushing myself, building my brand, doing something that matters to me and trying to share it with you, why would you see that as a negative? And first, I continue doing it. They keep talking, they're talking or whatever and stuff, and yet still every Tuesday, I sent the link. But then eventually, I'm like, all the negative reception, all the back talk and everything in here, I decided to stop. But I didn't stop because I felt like they were, because I was essentially being chased. But I stopped because I said, I'm not going to put my work, something that I love, in a hostile environment and give these people an opportunity to break my spirit. I'm not going to give them the opportunity to come and tell me nonsense, especially since they had nothing. They couldn't say anything about the quality of my work. First of all, the people that were talking have never read not one of the poems yet. They said it themselves. They never read none. I never opened it. Okay, cool. But another thing happened, Brian, and this happens every time I get anxious about people not reading and stuff. Every time somebody bad talks to me, or especially for that group or that setting, I got new followers. Because I stopped sending poems to the group, the people from the group that were actually paying attention, that I didn't know was paying attention, messaged me and asked me, oh, can you send me the poems personally?
Right.
Can you add me to your broadcast list? Oh, I've been checking this, I've been reading this and stuff. And those people now are promoting my work and sending it to other people and stuff. And it's fine. I took people off my broadcast list after, because I'm like, I don't know for sure who is reading, because not everybody will respond. And sometimes people that I don't think are reading, something I say or do catches them, and then they message me and they're like, oh my God, that was really good, and oh, and they're talking to me, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that you were actually reading these poems. Like, if I had to guess who was the person that was reading, your name would not have been in the list. But at the same time, if I know for certain that, oh, for real, they didn't really get no time with this, I did some cleaning and I said, watch. The same way I can post the poem and put it, the same way I'm saying that, oh, maybe if I keep sending whatever poem that they need to see, they're going to see that one. Something can happen that day that they need, and that's going to be the day that they click on the link and they get what they need. But at the same time, if that is so, I don't have to send it to them. If they really needed to see it, they can see it on Facebook, they can see it on my status, they can see it on Instagram, they can find it somewhere else. Genine was going to make a point.
Yeah, I see you kind of ranting up from, you're ranting about it again. Let it go, honey.
Right, let it go.
You should realize that when you're elevating, there will be a lot of bad mind. Okay, get that in your head. And what you need to do is realize that you have to build your own little community on Instagram, like people that are into what you do. And I mean, I've realized that for what I post as well, you build a community, you interact with these people, and the others, well, good luck to them. And the other thing is, everybody on Instagram, a lot of people on Instagram are experts, Google experts, WhatsApp experts. They don't do research, but they have a say, or they want to have a say in something.
My friends. Friends.
Even people, friends. Just let these people go. Okay?
No, I'm supposed to be sharing.
Let them
Negative.
go. Let it go.
You know what it is? Hold on, I feel like you should find your space. I think you're not in your space. If you find your space, you have all support you need.
Right.
Just need to find your people. Find your tribe.
So Brian touched on this earlier when you said writing for myself and not limiting what I have to say or what I'm trying to put over for people. And the sad or unfortunate thing is that technically two of those people have a lot of influence in my life, and they use it, and I have succumbed to it every time they have challenged me. And I'm trying to get out from that. The older generation is, we're on different levels. And I actually, well, I have my Key Sparks page, and I post it on Facebook. So and I have my parents on my writers list, and they filter a lot. I have gotten into several debates, and I have changed what I said every time to appease whatever their issue was.
Okay.
It's difficult, and it's like you want to. That is one of the reasons I feel like it makes me not want to share, because if you can't let me be authentic, or you can't let me say what I want to say, you take away the originality of what I'm trying to do. And it's really annoying. And the thing was, what I did look at is that your audience changes with your content. There are some that will, so you'll get new ones, you lose some. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people like to look at things one way, and that is something that I don't really do. Because even Brian will tell you, like, if you've read my work, I try not to look at things the way you would typically see them. I would try to think of an out of the box idea to talk about the same thing that somebody might not have thought of. So when you're gonna come and tell me, oh, you can't write this like that, or you can't say that, I wrote something, and I even got, oh, the way that you wrote it, you're gonna put bad things on yourself. You putting bad energy and stuff, so you need to change that. And I'm like, the people that follow me, a lot of them told me that like me writing in first person, because most of the things I write, I put it very personal, and that is what helps them to read it as themselves, and it forms a greater connection than me saying he went down the road and he did this and he did that or whatever and stuff. But I make it me, and that also causes issues. And I'm just here trying to find balance, trying not to compromise too much that I lose myself in compromising, and then it's art and it's not heart.
Point of interjection. You say a point. Okay, are these people? You say the people are close to you, right? Like family members or friends or something like that. They're family members, right? Or friends.
My parents.
Pause.
Family members.
All right. So let's stick on that. Whatever you want you to realize, right? Okay, they're constructive criticism, and that's okay, right? But you have to realize that being a family doesn't mean that they're good for you. I'm not trying to overstep my boundaries, but I'm gonna say it, right?
Say it.
Your family can be bad vibes, literally. Making it because their family does not make them all of a sudden be great to you or be something good for you. Sometimes a lot of your families you have to cut them off. Not saying to cut off your parents though, but I'm saying that's the thing I'm saying.
They feed in you now, but as said, boundaries.
They feed in your belly, but they feed in your mind. Think about it. Anyways, yeah. So I'm checking now that like that instance, there's a lot of family members, there's a lot of friends that are close to you that would actually kill your craft or bring it down. Because they can only see from their vision. They can't see from what you're seeing, right? Right. So now you're trying to see it like, for instance, basically you're seeing this as a bird and they're seeing it as a caterpillar. Understand? So it's kind of different ways to see certain things. Now you see how you want it to play out, but they have limited mindset. So they're not gonna see the whole picture or what you're trying to, portray. No, it's up to you to tell them, hey, listen, right? I mean, that's nice, what are you saying is okay for your level, but for the level I'm on, it doesn't fit with me. And they can either like it or they just don't like it. I feel like we always bring ourselves down to fit our family members' ideologies or whatever. No, make your own ideas, make your own plans. I feel like either they sit down and say, okay, you know what? Whatever. I can't control this girl. Or they can say, okay, bye. Either way, to me, I would rather do what I want to do and live the life how I want to live it, or write how I want to write, than limit myself to please anybody else. Then, when you limit yourself now to please them, you're not going to feel at rest or feel at peace with yourself. It could be a case where you're writing, yes, but like, what are you really doing? Like, literally, you're writing to please people. No, people will be able to relate to your piece, not the other way around. You're supposed to put something out, and they be like, okay. You understand? If the IQ, I don't want to sound rude, right? But if the IQ is not high enough to understand what you're trying to say, you don't have to dumb it down for them. Raise the IQ. Raise how you see things. The problem why we don't see certain things the way we need to see them is because we don't open our minds to that type of sight. You understand? So you're showing them a different way, and they're like, I don't like this way. This way is not for me. Or it is more like, it's like, for instance, you're walking on the highway, right? Or let's say you're driving on the highway. There are two ways that you can go down this highway, right and left, let's say that. Now, you're on the left part of the highway, and the other person on the right part of the highway. There's a place that comes together, right? But the problem is now, because they love their right side so much, they're not going to try to come over on your side to see how you see it. No, they want you to come on their side. But it can't work like that in poetry. Poetry is the audience interpret what you wrote, not you trying to write so they can feel better about themselves. No. Yeah, it's just not like that. So they have to meet you on your side. You don't have to go on their side. You understand? So then let your parents meet you, or let your family member meet you on your side. That's all I think.
You said that, Brian, because Brian, that goes for like everything content that you make. People are going to interpret it how they want. So, yeah.
Well, we're making progress, because between when I vented about it to Genine, I had changed it. Whatever the issue that they had, I had changed it, and by the time I finished talking to Genine, I changed it back. So changed it back. So at least it's going somewhere. The last thing I want to touch on before, because I see we're running against time, and there's a second live where I'm going to talk with 3 other content creators about, the life. Last thing I'm going to touch on, and then I'm going to let Brian and Genine talk about their platforms before we close. Yeah. Okay. Is content creator anxiety. Brian knows that I get very flustered if I don't have poems to post for the next 2 months at least. I start freaking out. And then I'm there and I'm kind of searching for something to do, or something like I'm trying to push anything into my brain so I could produce something. And I'm trying to handle it better, especially since a lot of the times I might feel anxious, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm posting today. And then I go out or something and I get inspiration and I get something done. And it's like, even though this happens over and over again, like I'm still not comfortable to the point where it's like, you're gonna be fine. It gonna be good. But we're working on it. But yeah, that's the last thing I want to talk about, because I'm probably gonna talk about, or at least ask the next group about that content creator anxiety. But yeah, I'm just gonna let Brian and Genine talk about their platforms for a bit, and then we're gonna go over the next time. We're gonna cut this live and then start a new one with the other group. So who's going first? Brian, you go first, because you were sending Genine all the time.
Okay. I'm not gonna talk that much about it because Daniel is coming on another live, so then he will speak more about our thing. But what I can say that we started doing photography basically, where we're taking pictures and everything. It's called Picture This. It is Actually, it's a big step for me because I didn't expect to actually be doing it. I mean, I like photos, I like taking photos, I like, doing stuff like that. But I never expected to be making a business out of it, per se. Like, it's
What
something new.
specifically do you, what specifically do you do with Picture This?
Oh, basically, what we decided to do is just that we just providing a service for people in Santiago, in the place we are. Just a service to help out, if they
You
want something. Hmm?
are. I mean, you particularly, what?
Oh, what do I do?
Yes, what do you do
Oh,
in?
okay, okay.
Because I know
Yeah.
Daniel's gonna talk about it, but I mean, like you specifically.
Me. Okay, well, I'm the face of the business. You ever have the face of the business. But yeah, I basically the same thing that Daniel does. Well, he does more editing than I do. So I take pictures, I help decorate, stuff like that. But um,
The ads and the Facebook page, the Instagram
I
page.
was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. I'm basically social media manager. I deal with everything social for us. Yeah, I guess I do the hardest work. 'Cause, yeah,
Mm, mm, mm,
I
mm.
guess you do the
Probably,
hardest work.
probably.
I do the hardest work. But I'm good
Alright.
at those. I'm good at those stuff.
So he's the
Yeah.
photographer slash public
Slash
relations.
pub.
He's PR.
True. But that's true. Public relations manager, basically. But yeah, that's it. But I feel like Daniel will be more inclined to speak about the other
We'll
parts
get
of
that the
the.
next time.
Yeah.
Yes,
When he
Jeannie,
comes
let's
in.
go. This is your moment.
My moment.
This is your
So you
moment.
know what I do? I enjoy fitness, and yeah, I just realized like from last year into this year that this is kind of like my passion, and medicine is like my side hustle. So I just fell in love with it. I'm learning. I just want to keep learning and learning, and if I can help somebody in some way, um, I'll do that. And literally, it's not really about the following for me. But I made this account last year. Like I deleted my old account and I made this new account. This I didn't have the intentions of going into fitness or anything. But like posting, I was so scared to post on my stories, and then when I finally did, people would reach out to me, sending encouraging words or saying that, hey, I motivated them to work out today or get them moving or something like that. And honestly, that's what it is about for me. That's what, if I can get one person to change their mindset when it comes to fitness, to not think that,
Jeannie's
hey, if I'm a female, if I'm a woman, if I'm a woman and I'm lifting weights, I'll get like a man, or you just inspire me to get moving. And I get these
But
messages a lot more frequently, and that's all it is about for me. But I don't really want to focus like mainly on that. I want to go into more like lifestyle and other things that I like, exploring other aspects of like my fitness journey. So I want to go into roller skating as well. So I want to do like
yeah, I saw
different,
that.
yeah, I want to do like different content over time. So I'm just not going to limit it to just fitness. So yeah, and I also do photography on the side. But it's more like I'm a hobbyist photographer. So,
her
I enjoy that
acting
as
skills,
well.
guys.
Yeah, I've been learning how to edit, and I kind of appreciated that pandemic for that because, we were constantly on the go, and having the time to sit with myself and explore other aspects of my personality, of myself, I just love.
True.
I honestly love who I've become over like in just a year. I was so scared. You know how scared I was to even post a video. And I read a book by
Is
David Goggins.
to me.
I read a book by David Goggins, and it was can't hurt me. And like one of the challenges was do something every month or every week that you're uncomfortable with. And for me, that is being on Instagram Live. That is putting myself out there because I like to be in the background. That's why I was like pushing you more. But like
Commentary
That
association.
makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah, I'm
So
just in
guys,
the background. But putting myself out there has been wonderful. Everybody has been so receptive, strangely, and I'm just happy that I could interact with so many new people and build my little community as well.
Alright, so y'all know what to do. Go and follow Genine. It's just Genine MD. Go and follow the Cuban link, Brian, and you can go and check out picture this photography. But I'm just going to cut this live right now, and we're going to start a new live where I'm going to be talking to 3 content creators, and we're going to talk about the nitty-gritty, the struggles. We're just going to have a little interview, a little interaction. So don't go anywhere. I'm cutting. We'll be back. Bye. Wait.
Bye.
In like 2 minutes.
1 minute, girl.
One.
And we're back. We're back for good night. Yeah. Okay, I just had to cut the last live so that I can have 2 separate videos. Good night, everybody. Well, we've been here a while and we're just gonna be on for a bit more. But hi. Hey, Stacy. We're gonna talk content creator. I'm just gonna add, let's add the, and hey, princess.
Hey.
I think you have to turn your camera.
Yeah, I just realized that.
Hi.
Congratulations and happy anniversary.
Thank you so much. Of quarantine, we did so many things. Everybody got into fitness, or everybody found a new hobby. How many people are still doing those things? I really did not expect to still be on this. Like, I really didn't. Hi, good night. So, okay, basically, so I'm going to just identify the people on the live, and then they can tell you more about themselves and their platforms. So I'm just gonna start with Tevi, that is next to me. She was actually my college roommate, guys. And some bonds last forever. I'm keeping this one, okay? End of story. So that's my Torie. Under me in the yellow, we have Tweedale. She went to high school with me, Cape. And now she is, you have to regard her as counsel. Thank you very much. She's a lawyer. And lastly, we have Daniel, who is in med school with me in Santiago, and he's in 5th year. And he has a YouTube channel. So Tevian is YouTube, Daniel is YouTube, and Tweedale is Instagram, Facebook. Okay? So, first thing we're gonna do is have everybody say what their platform is, how you decided to start the platform, and what it's about. That's first thing. And like background of, getting started, like the actual, okay, for real, I'm going to do this. So who wants to start? Who's going? Hold on.
Ladies first, right? Ladies first.
That still applies.
Okay, hold on. Twiddle, when did you start? I think Twiddle is probably
September. Yeah.
September. Daniel, your page.
August.
Okay.
I started August 2019.
You were starting first.
Yeah.
Tevian was last year around June, July, August.
June.
Okay, good. So we're going to be in order of age or whatever that.
Wow.
So we're going to start with Danny. We're going to start with Daniel.
All right. Hello guys. My name is Daniel.hung. Like Kiaza was mentioning, she said I'm a fifth-year medical student studying in Cuba, and well, I started my YouTube channel on August 2019, and the thing is, at first I wasn't really posting videos about like with my face in it. I was just posting like some music that I made. I just put a random wallpaper, static, and I just posted it. And some people listened to it. And maybe got like 3 subscribers or something. 5 views. And it wasn't until like November or December of that same year when I finally posted that introduction video. That was when everything changed. It's like people want to see your face, right? People want to see your face.
That is true.
Yeah.
So
about
what?
Wait.
Yeah.
What inspired me? Thing is,
But like, but before that, what is your page about? What is your channel about? Like, what does it cover?
Okay. My channel is about mainly life in Cuba as a Cuban medical student.
Now.
About Cuba. What do you mean right now?
You leave in Cuba in like a year, so like your channel is not gonna end after.
That is true.
It's more lifestyle.
True. For
now, but like Cuba.
Yeah, for now it's mostly Cuban stuff. But like I want to branch off more into like music, film.
Ooh, that 4G. Yeah, it was buffering a bit. Yeah, inspiration. Let's see if it comes back in a sec. Or okay, we'll take Tevi in the meantime as Daniel sorts out CUBACEL and their specialness.
All right. Hi, everybody. Good night. Hi, Tweedle.
Hi.
Keys. Congratulations. Happy 1-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Or happy first birthday, whichever one you want to hear.
I know, right?
Where did the time go?
I have no idea. No idea.
All right. Guys, I am Tevian Griffith. I am a YouTuber, a Guyanese YouTuber. That still feels very unreal to say. But I started my YouTube channel on the 17th of June last year, actually. So next month will be my 1-year birthday. I really didn't realize you started before me, Kelly. It's tonight. I'm like, your anniversary is this month, and mine is still next month. Like, what's happening? Anyway, yes. My YouTube channel is called the Torie Standard, and I am generally an outgoing person. Like, I can talk to you, I'll make friends, I'm very social and that type of thing. But I really did not love the idea of being an influencer, quote unquote. Being an influencer and the whole notion of having your life's business. Hi, he's back. Yes, I did not like the idea of having all of my business out
Sorry about
there.
that,
So that was something that I was grappling with.
guys.
It's okay, Danny. So my YouTube channel is called the Torie Standard, and it's based on fashion, faith, style, and dance. And those are the four things that basically drive me as an individual. First and foremost, my faith. Second of all, my dance ministry, which is very, very sacred to me and very important to me. And my passion and my love for fashion and styling. And usually I get a whole lot of questions on a daily basis. Like I would spend hours and hours and hours on my phone talking to about 10 persons at the same time about what to wear. They have to go here, they need something to wear, what to do, what I think, how this looks. Yes, Kelly, I'm glad you're pointing to yourself. In the middle of the night, she's in Cuba. Tell I have to do that X, Y, and Z, like what to wear, which one, this, that. And it was overwhelming at one point. And everybody around me would say, why not just turn this into a business? Like, you know, make this a business because you can actually get paid for this. But I'm thinking in my mind, this is Guyana. Nobody really pays for styling in this country. And if you call a certain price for certain services, you're not going to get a great response. I'm already filling my mind with all these negative thoughts. So I'm trying to find a way to do this, to share this information in a way that anybody that wants it can access it. And I will not have to go through the torture of having to talk to a million people at one time, or so I thought. And I launched my YouTube channel, the Torie Standard, and I used my already existing Instagram page, and I recently created my Facebook page because I realized it was coming up to my 1 year and I needed to expand. So I'm on Facebook as well as the Torie Standard. So that's basically an introduction to my content and a bit of a backstory to how it all started.
So, Tweedale.
So, hi everyone, and congratulations again, Kiaza. My name is Tweedale Marks. I am an attorney at law by profession. However, I am a natural hair enthusiast as of recent, and I really wanted to, I really wanted to share that with the world, and so I created a business which deals with mostly natural ways of taking care of your hair, because I believe in the alternative as compared to commercial products. And I just decided to come with a page and a brand because I don't want to just sell products to people, but I also want to educate persons on their hair. And like Tevian said, it's better to put it out there in one big page rather than having several persons message you all of the time asking the same questions, and you really can't respond to everybody.
So the business was first. So the business.
Yes, the business was first, and then
the like you do it, not me.
okay. So when I refer to natural products, I am talking mostly products that are founded in Ayurveda, which is an Indian traditional way of taking care of your hair. So I sell mainly most of their herbal powders, and I would tell persons how to take care of their hair based on this particular.
All right. Sorry.
I.
All right. I found out why I was like gone all the time. My phone is a pretty old phone, right? And I don't think it can handle the four of us. Yeah, and so now I have the hotspot to my tablet, and now I'm on now.
Okay, yeah,
Smart. But that's just a snapshot of me and my business, and I think that most of the persons who follow me on my business page, they don't know that I'm an attorney at law. That was like a little secret. But thank you, Kiaza.
Listen,
It's
I
always
said
good to
last
have a little
week,
secret.
we we can be anything and everything as long as we put our minds to it. I feel like I almost took the MD off my page, but let's just leave it. It's okay. So, yes, you are left with telling us your inspiration for starting your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so like before I begin with that, right, I'm just gonna say that my channel is mainly Cuban for now, right? But I want to branch off into more music and film related stuff. So like, you know, short films, music, just like that. My inspiration, the thing is, like, they always say starting is the hardest thing to do, right? But once you start, everything just comes after that, right? So for years, I think, okay, this isn't my first time making YouTube videos. I actually had a YouTube account from 2010, right? 2010, I was posting like videos of me playing piano, you know, very, very poor quality video. And so, yeah, I was like, you know, just post it. I wasn't really in the mindset of any growth or anything. And then 2016, I created a new account because I wanted to start fresh. I did not do anything with it until 2019. So imagine, that's almost 10 years of not doing anything. But I have to like give a huge shout out to Brian from the previous live. He's the one that pushed me over like the edge. And then after that, I had an intro video posted, and we did a interesting video, like just testing out the video stabilization on our phone. So like I had Brian run while I chased him with his phone just to see how it worked. And those two videos came out. Exactly. Those are my two starting videos, pretty much. Yeah.
Not bad.
So shout out to Brian. Out here making people do things.
I know, right?
Oh. And as mentioned on the last live, Danny also is in a team where they have a photography business called Picture This. They took my birthday photos last year, so if y'all scroll my IG,
yeah,
okay?
I remember that. That was really,
that's all I'm gonna say.
That was really cool.
All right, so I want you guys to tell me about your creative process, getting the ideas, or like how do you go about, well, for Danny and, well, for all three of you, because Tweedale does videos now, I saw, yeah. How do you plan your content? Well, like one particular video, or like how do you go about doing that? What's your creative process? Let's start with...
Well, for me, I feel that I'm still learning, and I'm trying to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and see what sticks. I find that persons, once you do something that's trending, it kind of catches on better for your profile, so to speak. But then sometimes I'm like, but is this me though? And is it something that I want to do? So sometimes I would focus on what's trending on social media, but I also take it back to my core principles or core values as to what it is that I want to do and structure it around that so that it's an adaptation of something that's there, but it's also partly my work that I'm putting into it. Yeah.
Because especially when it comes to the Instagram algorithm, like if you do something that's trending, you can get lost in the trend. Like because everybody's doing it, your content just disappears with everything else. Danny, let's go to Danny. Not hearing you. noise.
All right, let's throw these headphones away. What I was saying
I was just like, you can mute yourself on live?
No, to be honest, this is my first live, right? This is my first Instagram live, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so the question was?
Creative process.
Okay. The creative process, huh? To be, I kind of like to have like a brainstorming session. So like for what I do, like for making Cuba related videos, I would like just sit down and try to think of all the things that I could do, whether that be vlogs or like just talking about certain things. Well, I kind of like, I want to say I don't really follow trends like my friend here, but I feel like it's very important. It's very important to see what people are interested in, because if not, you're gonna make stuff that not much people are gonna watch. But so I like to just brainstorm, talk to people, brainstorm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think. Okay, we'll go into that in equipment. Yes, Tevi.
Yes, so we're talking about the creative process. Because of the amount of topics that I cover on my channel, it almost seems like you can't run out of content, but believe it or not, you do. And I heard you mention something about anxiety on the first slide. Yes, and it is real. It is real. It is so very real. Oh my gosh. I would give all content creators a hug. I would send you ice cream if I could, because you would look at YouTube videos, because I lived on YouTube before I actually started my channel. I lived on YouTube, and I'd be like, this looks so easy. I could do this.
Yeah, they're just talking so naturally on camera.
Yeah, just do this. Thank you guys for joining my channel today. And they're just going out. Yes, subscribe, like, and share, and they're just rattling off. And I'm like, okay, I could do this. I'm a talker. I wasn't on the debate team in school. I'm good with public speaking. I got this. When I look back at my first video, I'm like, who's this child? I was just like, hi everybody, welcome to. And listen to me, the first video I ever uploaded, it took me 2 tries, two different times. I was able to wash the shirt that I wore, let it dry, iron it again. It had days. It took like a week apart to get it right. Yes, to get it right. So it was not an easy process. And the creative, you can sit here and think about a million things to do, like a million topics to cover. I do fashion and styling. So one day I can think about, okay, I need to show, or somebody asked me to talk about dressing up. What's the difference between dressing up and dressing down? Okay, I could talk about that. I could talk to you about that now. But when you're gonna formulate that in a content that a general public is to consume, that is when it gets tricky. That's when it gets tricky, because you're going to do that this Saturday, let's say. This weekend, that's your video. Next weekend, what do you do? The following weekend, what again are you going to do? So it's like, it's this never-ending cycle. And every time your date for uploading or submission is coming around the corner, you're holding your head and you're bawling, because like, I don't know what to do. I thought I had it all sorted out, and even while filming, you're like, oh, Jesus, please let this be received in the right way, and please let it just help one person, So the creative process is both terrifying and exciting. And I don't know, you just have to have a gift for it. And
yeah,
it's
constantly changing too.
Yes, yes, it is constantly changing because there's not a right way and a wrong way to do this, right? And it's tailored to your experience and to what you have to offer. Because my approach would work for me, but if I tell Kelly do exactly what I'm doing, it may not work for her because she has a totally different platform from the one that I have, and her audience is different from the audience that I have, and so forth.
Just a quick note. I saw that Genine posted a comment saying that
Makes us
like
slave
you're
to
a
the app.
slave to the app, and it kind of limits your creative process. It ruins your creative process, and that is so true. You want to constantly like boost your analytics and your professional dashboard that sometimes you forget yourself and you're like, oh, they love these types of content, let me do that more. But then at the end of the day, that is not what you're truly passionate about.
That's so
Sometimes
true.
you talk about the topic so many times that you're like, why am I even harping on this point further?
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
I totally agree with that comment because no.
Yeah,
I
especially
totally get
especially the
that.
analytics. I'm an addict when it comes to looking at these analytics. Like, okay, so I'm a YouTuber, right? So YouTube has this app called YouTube Studio,
Yes.
and I
Oof.
feel like every morning, every time I feel like I need to swipe the thing to see if maybe like a subscriber pops up, and when that happens,
Yeah.
like I get so excited.
You get,
Dance in your
I get
head.
a notification via my email. So you're just looking to see if that's a new subscriber email or if it's, some online store sending you another discount or something. But when you see it's that
Yeah,
YouTube and it's a new comment or a new subscriber, like, oh, you're doing the right thing.
yeah.
I have somebody else looking. So I
Yeah,
totally get
but
that.
it's okay. It's
Sorry.
annoying though because YouTube doesn't send you all your subscribers, so sometimes you gain, but you don't know who it is. So it's
That's
really
so
annoying.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's so true. And back to the point that Genine made in the comment and Tweety just expounded on. I have, like, my channel is fashion style based as well, and these trends, you can really get caught up in trends in your life, and not just only as a creative. In your life too, you can get caught up in trends. And I have made it a point to not do trends or to not do these videos that are trending on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I have made it a duty because there are, let's see, y'all know these trends like best friend tag or boyfriend tag or let
Yeah,
somebody
Oh
wear the
challenges,
outfit
those
or
challenges,
dress
those
scandalous to
silhouette
let
is
your
challenges.
it just
boyfriend judge
me?
or so, like, mm-mm.
Is it
Everything
just
is
me,
not
or
for
are
me.
those like very cringy?
Very
Like I
cringy.
honestly can't.
That's
I
it.
can't stand to watch them, and I always question myself, like, who are watching these videos? I don't
They
get
get so
it.
many views, like 1 million views. Like
Right?
those must be
Yeah.
fake people.
And by the time
Yeah.
you blink, a brand picks them up, and I'm like, for that?
It is what it
And that
is.
goes to the
It
point
is what
that
it is.
the Cuban link is making in the comment section, where he says that it's more to go viral than
Be
it's about
creative.
creativity, and
That's so
that
Now,
true.
hits a spot.
so Janine
Yeah,
responded, right? She's saying
that's one of the
she tries
main
to get useful content, but they get like useful info, but they get bored with the truth. Like, okay, like they don't. She has the video and they watch the video, but they don't read the description to like get the information. They're just watching the video. And today I posted my blog anniversary, the pictures and stuff from the shoot, and somebody messaged and told me happy birthday, and I'm like, this definitely means you did not read the caption. The first line says,
all they saw was a cake. All they saw was a cake of a
Yes. Yeah. It happens. It
and I'm
happens.
like, it's like it's so you're trying to do to share something and people are just like, if it's not a cat video or, you know, somebody doing something foolish like Gorilla Glue, it's nobody cares. They just pass over it. And I remember, so Genine, like, she keeps admonishing me because, like, first I did a separate page for my poems, but it was getting 3 likes. 3. And I am not like, I'm a social media stalker. I scroll. I don't tap on anything. I don't comment on anything. I just scroll. So like, and having 2 pages, it was kind of annoying for me to remember, oh my God, I'm supposed to post on the other page. Eventually, I'm like, I can't do this anymore, and I deleted it. And then I'm like, okay, fine. What I'm gonna do, since I already have my personal page that has a following and stuff already, let me try posting on my personal page, posting the quotes on my personal page, move the quotes to my personal page, and move from 3 likes to 5. And I'm like, what is the point? Like, what am I trying to do? But eventually, I even see now that I'm trying to be more consistent. It is growing slowly, but it's growing. But first, I'm like, why am I working so hard to produce content that nobody's paying attention to?
But I think it's a situation where you have to ask yourself, is it that people aren't really paying attention, or is it that people don't just want to show their support on your page?
I was just about to comment on that.
Watch it. They be watching. Like when you post a video, then is when you realize like how many persons view the videos, but like don't necessarily want to comment. And I think it's more of a preference. Some people just want to scroll or watch a video, and that's it. Like,
that's true. So Twitter, I have noticed, and Kelly and I have spoken about this before too. When you post, I realize with my personal Facebook page, when I post an image of me, I would get anywhere between 300 and 700 likes. That's on Facebook. If I post an image of myself, you know I'm going to get that amount of likes. If I send my video link to Facebook, when I upload to YouTube and I send from YouTube to Facebook, I would honestly get about 34 likes. Like, what happened? And if I post a story on Facebook, about 1,000 people a day would view that story, or 900 to 1,000 people would view that story.
Yeah, thousands of people, but no.
When I send my channel to Facebook story and say, hey, could you just like and subscribe? Oh, new video uploaded on my channel. Just head over there, like and subscribe with the image of the thumbnail. I get 102 people and 2 clicks.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
there's this meme that I saw on Facebook, right? It's like you have 1,000 Facebook friends, right? But only like maybe 100 subscribers. So where did they go? You know?
Yes.
Are they going?
Why is that gap there? And it's baffling sometimes. Welcome back to it. It's baffling sometimes if you sit down and think and ponder upon that and just that, it's going to get to you. But you have to always constantly remember, and you did mention Twiddle and Kelly, the thing that makes you successful or the thing that makes you blow up at one point is if you're consistent. Not everybody is consistent, right? And if you really do look at likes and the persons that comment or whatever, you are not going to be motivated enough to push and to continue. But you have to be, that motivation has to be intrinsic. You have to know that, all right, I'm doing this for, this is the reason why I started, and this is the goal that I want to reach. One day, one of those videos is going to blow up. Just one. It just needs to be one. And from that one, the content that you already have there, somebody is going to go back. It's like, oh, where was this girl all my life? Or in Daniel's case, where was this guy all my life, you know? And then they're going to go back and watch all the videos. That is actually how it happens.
That is true.
Yeah, that is what is kind of happening now. Like right now, I'm seeing
Brian,
people are watching a lot of
that
Cuban
question,
videos.
yeah, so Brian, that question I'll ask later. I saw your question. And but he was saying that people would sit down and watch other people's stuff than their own friends or whoever. Janine said they're surveillance cameras.
Louder for the people
That
in the
is
back.
so true.
Louder for
Surveillance
the people in the
for
back.
real, because like I never knew about like Instagram insights, as in you can actually see how many people viewed your stuff and thing. And then Janine introduced me to it, and I'm like, so wait. So it's not that they're not seeing it, because I was really thinking that, okay, maybe they're not seeing it, but it's there. And I mean, the Instagram algorithm is always changing, especially like for them specifically, they're always changing. So like even I have more reach on my personal pictures than I have on my content. My content gets like half of what my pictures get.
Yes.
But they're still struggling at 10, but it's fine. I don't it really doesn't bother me anymore. I've gotten used to it at this point. And especially with the fact that being under quarantine and not doing anything and stuff, I'm dealing with enough. So Instagram is not going to be added to the things that stress me out. My next question though is, how do you plan your content? Like, how do you plan your content? I'm not gonna describe what y'all know what I mean. Plan, well, I have my post day, I have my once a week. So how do you guys go about, like, is it random? I know Tweedale does themes. I tried that, doesn't work for me. But yeah.
I'm glad that you noticed that I do teams, because when I started in 2020, I tried to do the weekly post like you, and I found that I bogged down myself because I was posting the same things that other naturals were posting or other content creators were posting. So like I said, I like to do my own thing. Yeah, I would look at the trend or whatever, but I try to create my own style. So for this entire year, to hold myself accountable, I sat down and I created a team for each month. And so far, it's been going good. But April, I lost my grandmother, and that just took a toll on me, and I just canceled April. But I'm back in May.
Well, for me,
what's this month?
This is May.
Pardon me?
What's the theme for this month?
The theme for this month is minimalistic May, where I
because I'm like, listen, Pierre said something. I am no longer calling myself a lazy natural. I'm a minimalist, okay?
yeah, minimalist.
You were saying something, Danielle.
Yeah, so like how I said, I usually like brainstorm and I have a list of ideas. When I started in 2019, I would go every week. I would have an idea to do, right? And I'm happy to say that I've been consistent, very consistent, up to now. So like more or less every week I have a video, right? But I don't feel like I could tell myself that every specific day I'm gonna post. So like every Tuesday or every Wednesday or every Thursday. I feel like things just happen, and you will get a video, but it might not be on the same day, but you'll get it a week, right? But
I
now
know about that.
Actually,
I'm starting to realize instead of posting every week, maybe if you give yourself a little bit more time between uploads, you could make your videos a lot more better in some way. Like maybe make them more funny or more informative. So I'm gonna give myself a little break. I'm not gonna be posting every week, but I'm gonna be making sure that the video is gonna be as entertaining or as informative as possible. Yeah. So
Before you tell
No
me
more every
those,
week.
I have a question for you. In terms of when you don't get to post, right? Is there a certain level of guilt or anxiety that you feel? Because I thought it was a me problem where
Oh,
it's like
no.
I didn't get to post.
Definitely, there's definitely guilt. Um, it makes me like whenever
And
I
how do
had
you
to do it.
deal with it?
Yeah, when I had to do it every week, I was like, okay, because sometimes I wouldn't have anything planned, right? Like right now, I have a list, but then that list is full of like very random ideas. So like I don't have it set that I'm gonna do a specific each week. I kind of go like I kind of look into the list and like just pick one. I was like, hey, this one seems doable right now. Let me do it, or something like that. So, um, so yeah, how do I deal with it? I just tell myself that I'm doing great. You know, coming from like 30 subscribers, and then I also tell myself like it's not I'm not obligated to do it, but like I'm not forced to basically. And I have multiple things that are happening. Medicine, I have to study. I can't put all my energy into YouTube, so I just chill. I just chill. Maybe eat something nice. Relax. Mental health is important. As a content creator, mental health.
Yeah.
All right.
Before I go.
That anxiety, Tweedle, it's crazy. It gets crazy. When I started, and I think you started around the same time, well, Corona was still very new. And
Yeah.
I was on rotation at work because I still have my day job, but we were on rotation. So we would work one day on, one day off. And when it was getting a bit better, we would work every day, but half day. Right? So you just go to work for 4 hours. So when I started, I was like, yes, I have the time. So let's say I upload first when I started, I uploaded on Tuesdays. That was my time on Tuesdays because
On what?
the way,
Tuesday.
yeah, on Tuesdays, yes. My schedule was I was free on Tuesday. So I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday I work. Monday night I come home, finish off whatever, and send that. Usually by Monday my video will be uploaded as a premiere. That's how I started because Kelly would tell you, I'm the type of person that if I'm going to do something, it has to be done right. It has to be done perfectly. There needs to be a schedule. It needs to be color coded. There needs to be a time attached to everything. And that is how I work. But I was in for the shock of my life because when we came back to a sense of normalcy, we were working every day. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because by the time I get home, it's dark. I can't shoot during the week anymore. If I don't catch Saturday mornings, I'm done for, basically. So that, as the channel evolved, as time went by, and as the circumstances around me changed, then I had to evolve with that. But most of the time, I was still going out of my mind crazy, like, oh my God, this week is coming up and I don't have anything in mind. And you work so hard all week. Saturday mornings, you don't want to get up early. You want to sleep late. You want chillax on Saturday morning, for crying out loud. So if we don't get Saturday morning, I'm not going to have content for the following week. And unless I do it Sunday afternoon, and you can't always guarantee the weather's going to be okay. You can't always guarantee that, you have content. There have been times when I shoot content and looked back at the video just while editing and didn't like anything I saw. Now, where am I going to get this time to reshoot this video? But I know this is not up to standard and I can't release this. I can't release this. Right? This is not up to my standard. I cannot release this. But I don't have the time. So now you're stuck with the decision. What do I do? Do I send out this less than...
Post it.
Yeah, this less than best quality video? Do I send it out or do I do what? Call in sick a day from work to shoot a video? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do here. And
don't say it on the line. Don't say it on the line.
It was
She
just
didn't
a
mean
thought. It was
It was
just
a thought.
it was a thought. Yeah. So what and I was like Danny when I started. I wrote down, I had my little diary and I wrote down all of the ideas and I had it with me always. So whenever I got an idea, just a thought, I would write it down. I would jot it down. No date to it yet, but I just jot it down. And how I started it, I wanted to go from topic to topic. So if I'm dealing with faith, I started out with faith, confidence, then I moved to fashion, then I moved to styling. And now that I have covered all of the topics, then I go back and forth because I've already established what the channel is about. You've already seen at least 3 videos on everything. So now you know what that is about. Now going forward, I just try to make sure that each video is related to the previous one. It needs to be on the family tree somewhere. They might not be siblings, but they might be cousins. So that's how I do it going. That's how I have been doing it for a while. And another thing, as Danny mentioned too, you don't feel like you're obligated. Now, if I need to take a break, I take a break. And I send out a notice to my followers that, okay, so I'm not going to be uploading this week. Check out for new videos next week. Or I compensate for a video, like a full video on my channel with pictures on Instagram or, send some tip out or something. Because you really do need to take care of your mental space. If you're not in a frame of mind, if you're not feeling like Twitter, you lost someone, I lost someone as well. I could not have done a video that week. I was a wreck emotionally. My aunt passed. I could not have done a video that week. So I didn't. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I'm okay and tell you about how to look good while going out and I am a wreck on the inside. Like, that was not going to be authentic. I was probably going to break down in the middle of that video and nobody really wants to see that anyway. So,
yeah.
Be fair to yourself.
I mean, you never know.
Well, true. You never know, that might have been the viral video, Danny.
Your true fans. Your true fans. Then you'll know who it is, right?
Right.
To touch on that planning. Okay, the thing about it is, right, when I started writing, for some reason or the other, after Brian opened that floodgate of my mind, I couldn't stop. I wrote a poem that day, I wrote a poem the next day. He told me something the other day. I wrote 3 poems that day because of some mix-up. He was trying to get me to do something, and I ended up writing 3 different poems before realizing that's not what he wanted. So when I started, by the time I started, I had probably 3 months of content that I could have posted a poem every week. Remember, I have less work than y'all. And when I mean less work, I type the poems in my phone. I have a journal to use as an organizer, but I type in my phone. I type in my phone because my phone sometimes is an extension of my hand. It's always in my hand. So whenever I have an idea, I stop and I write it down. Because even if I want to sleep, sometimes I'm like, if I wake up tomorrow and I don't have this line, I'm going to be upset. So I'm going to put it down. And so, but I still get a lot of anxiety because sometimes, I'm seeing months are going, you're going, and then all of a sudden you realize that, oh, I've been so comfortable knowing that I have because my WordPress, I can plan content for months in advance. I literally post all the poems now and they'll post automatically on the day that they're supposed to go up. So I'm there and I realize, okay, when I realize that I have months in advance or maybe just a month or stuff, I get comfortable and then the month ends and then I realize that I have no new content. So then I freak out. And then sometimes what happens is that I get not off track, but sometimes I'm on social media, but not on social media to pay attention to what's happening. Whereby it was Black History Month. There was one of the months that were celebrating or some holiday, women or something. I did not know. I did not know that it was Women's Day or, oh, it's this national, this day, and it's all these days. And I'm like, I'm not keeping up with all these holidays. And then it gets tricky for me, right? Sometimes I'm like, okay, whatever. But then it's tricky when people are messaging me and asking, so you're not going to post a poem for Women's Day? You're not going to post a poem for Mother's Day? So where's the content for this? Like, people message me, and I actually feel really happy when people message me like, oh, come on, it's Women's Day, you're not going to write something, you know. I was looking forward to this, and I'm like, oh wait, for real? Okay, and I get crazy about it, and I'm still trying to learn to let that go. Because like right now, for example, I have the poem that I want to post. Okay, Mother's Day is tomorrow. On Monday, I sent out a poll to ask if y'all wanted me to post Mother's Day poem on Tuesday or tomorrow. Nobody chose Tuesday. Nobody. Everybody said to post it tomorrow. And I thank the heavens because I did not write the poem yet. I started it, but somehow I wasn't getting anything. Nothing at all. I got something. I was walking in the street on Thursday afternoon and the ideas came to my head, so that's when it was written. But if I had to write it to get it for Tuesday, you would have gotten something artistic, but not something emotional or not something that's really, it's not there. So it's kind of difficult trying to balance when you have a schedule and that schedule freak you out. Tweety does themes, and somebody had told me, oh, maybe you should try themes. And then I realized that would not be able to work for me, especially when I try to write content about one particular thing. Maybe, okay, a month has 4 weeks, and I have 3 poems about the topic, and I can't find number 4 to save my life. So it all comes down to your confidence.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would agree with you and say that some days you just don't have anything to do, and it goes against your team. But at the end of the day, you could say, okay, I chalked this one up as I didn't plan this one out, and you move on to the next thing. Because honestly, yeah, it's your
content.
It's your page. You're putting out something for somebody. If they don't appreciate it, they'll tell you. But most of the times you're just being too hard on yourself.
Yes.
Like,
that's so true. That's so true. I had to come to that realization too. Because we have, most of us are perfectionists. Most of us, I'm going to say most of us are perfectionists. Like, you know the standard that you want to release, right? And you know that, all right, this is what you had initially planned, but this is your page. If it is that you planned 4 weeks, or initially you wanted to do 4 weeks of a themed content, of team content, and then on the final week, you're like, oh snap, I finished all 4 weeks in 3 weeks. So what am I gonna do now? You get on camera and say, okay, hey guys, I initially planned to do 4 weeks of this, X, Y, and Z, but it turns out that I finished all in 3 weeks. So this week we're gonna talk about oranges. Like, it's your channel. It's your channel. If they don't want to hear about oranges that said day, they're just gonna come off and they'll go back to it another day. Or somebody else who wants to hear about oranges will receive what you have to say about oranges that day. It's just, look, this life is, this content creator life, this influencer YouTuber life, and this entrepreneur life it's, oh my God, It's so crazy sometimes, but
Stressful.
there are no
Yeah.
there are no hard and fast rules except for you just be consistent. You put out content that is true to you, that is authentic and unique to you, and just go with your gut on most things, or on all things, I should say. And you can't go wrong there. You really cannot. You really and truly cannot.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, we kind of almost.
Danny is saying something.
Danny,
No. I just want to say, like, for like people who want to start YouTube, whether it be YouTube or anything, you just have to, like, the best advice people give is just to do it, right? It's very cliche, but you just gotta do it. And if you're wondering, like, whether you need to have, like, maybe you need to talk about only one thing, or should you do multiple things, my advice would just be, just do everything, right? And then you will find out later in life what stick or what you like
That
to
was
do,
my question.
then you can choose. Really?
That's actually the last question. So Fidel and Tevi, y'all could think about your answers if y'all can. Right?
I'm sorry,
But,
I didn't get the question.
I'm not gonna ask you, but what is one the advice you would give somebody that is starting out? But
okay.
the current question is just quickly, what equipment do we all use? Because all three of you do things that require film.
I use my
Yeah, so
iPhone.
why are you embarrassing me?
It's okay to use the phone.
No embarrassment there. Zero embarrassment.
Yeah.
When I started using my iPhone. Is it 6S or I think it's 6S. I don't even know. The small one, the little iPhone 6. That is what I started using, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, which camera are you using?" But I started with my iPhone. Natural light will trick anybody into believing that you're using a $1,000 US camera.
True.
So I was using my iPhone 6, and then I upgraded to an iPhone XR. So that's what I'm recording on right now. When my channel does start to pay me, then I will reinvest into other equipment.
Of course.
Yeah, camera,
When
an
you
actual
get your
camera and stuff.
sponsors.
What do you edit on, Torie?
Of course. Pardon?
What do you edit on?
Oh, well, edit, I used an iMac. I'm all Apple now. So I edit on an iMac. That's an Apple desktop. Or I edit on iMovies on my iPad. That's what I use.
Okay. Yes, we do.
Danny,
let me go first.
So I can...
Let me go first then. Okay. Okay. When I shot my first video with, right, my introduction video with, okay, let me find how should I put this? Okay, I have used many cameras, right, and none of them are mine. My first video was shot on a Sony, what was it? Sony A6400. That was for, my friend from Trinidad and Tobago, right? And then sometimes I use, I think once I used Genine's camera. I don't know if Genine remembers, but yeah, I was borrowing her camera for a spell. And then there's Rashad. Shout out to Rashad. He's been lending me his camera for. I feel like I own the camera now because like 99% of the time I'm using it. I've used my phone. I had a Note 8, Samsung Galaxy Note 8 before. The screen went in. It got all black, right? So I stopped using it, and I had to buy a spare phone, which is the iPhone 6 I have. It's not big. Like, you only have 16 gigs of storage, so I can't really film with that. And then sometimes I use my iPad, so it's like I'm just trying to see if I can get cameras from all over. Yeah, but I really do want to invest in like my own gear, but right now what I've been doing. Yeah, it's gonna be videos on my iPad using an app called LumaFusion. It's not free, but it's the best, in my opinion. It's the best video editing app ever. Well, second to the ones on the computer. But yeah, it's doing its job. So
Genine
all
asked
iPad,
an
all
interesting
iPad.
question.
Do you find the quality of it affected views?
In my case, the quality per se, okay, so quality does affect reception for me, at least in my experience, if I'm looking at a video. And most of the time when I think about content that I produce, I think about it as a consumer, right? Like if I'm to sit down and look at my video, would I want to look at my video? If it's sounding crappy, if I can hear the neighbor shouting, abusing the wife, or if I can hear dogs barking in the background, would I want to listen to it? No. So that is how I actually think about it. So your lighting has to be on point, your audio has to be on point, your editing for me, well, that's for me. Editing has to be on point. And I realized because I started editing on the iMac, and then I had to continue on an iPad. And a lot of the things that I was able to do on the computer when I started, I can't do on the iPad.
You can't do it on the iPad, exactly.
No, and that also broke my heart. That also attributed to a lot of the anxiety, because I'm like, oh darn. And it did hit my views really hard. It hit my views really hard. When I started, I had like, once I uploaded, I got about 400 to 500 views. Now, when I edit on this iPad and upload, I get about 100 on upload day. About 100 on upload day. I uploaded a video this morning, and I think now I'm at 70 something views, not 100 yet. I mean, it's not midnight, but I cater up to midnight. I upload by 10 and I check it at midnight or early the next morning. It's still at 70 something, but it is what it is. I am a strong believer that your quality affects your views and your reception, because a lot of people will not sit and look, especially if you're doing a fashion video, or if you're doing a fashion video, you can't go up there talking about fashion and your stuff not looking like it's cute or it's not looking appealing. You can't go talking. Yes, you can't go talking about food and your stuff not. You understand? Tweedle is doing natural hair. If Tweedle is doing natural hair, her quality has to reflect that. It has, your output has to reflect what your channel is about at its core, or else people are not going to be, they're not going to buy it. It's not going to be believable, and it's not going to be consumable. So that is also.
I feel like to me, what affects like the views and things is less about like quality. Like I use like all these big cameras, and when you record, you get this nice blur in the background, and it looks so nice. The thing is, those cameras are very big, right? So like for me, I'm always trying to find a way to get high quality with like the smallest thing possible, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to be honest, if I were to buy they call it a new camera device, I'm actually considering going just with a phone, to be honest, because it's small, it's easy, and the quality is there. Nowadays, phones are really good already for video.
And you would not believe how many of these big YouTubers are actually editing, filming on their cell phones. Yeah.
And like what do you call it? Oh, audio. You can have a very like blurry video, but you gotta have two things, right? In my opinion, audio and then maybe a good story, right? So like if you have those two, I feel like video could be you can use your phone. You can use your phone for video, but get a good mic. Either the ones that clip on or like you have to sound like really, how you call it?
Yeah.
Warm.
For some people,
inviting.
audio can work. And generally though, you can have the best quality and the best audio, but if your content is trash, it's just trash.
Yeah,
right? So that is
work on your personality, work on your storytelling.
Yes, that is so true. Because
that is the hardest
when
thing
I
to
started,
improve, I'm
yes. When I started, I had this one friend. She loves me dearly, and I know this. And she would always look at my stuff every week, and she'd be like, "Tevi, why are you speaking so slow? Why are you can't? So you sound like a professor. Why?" And she would get really frustrated with me. She's not like a tech person. She's not no type of influencer or social media guru. She was just talking to me from a consumer standpoint. She's like, "You're speaking so slow. Like, I like what you're saying, but you have to work on your delivery." And that was one of the things that struck me. You have to, because I was not yet comfortable. So that also comes with growth. And
I remember.
do understand that you will grow. You will learn as you're in there. There's no social media academy, no influencer academy. You will learn as you grow.
Okay. So
come. Go ahead.
No, I forgot.
No.
We're still waiting.
Oh. So for my equipment, I am like Danny. I borrow. My sister has a better phone as compared to mine. While I may take out some videos on my phone, I find that the quality on her phone is way better and the content is better in that aspect. But going back to what really triggers views for me, because I also do yoga, I find that anytime I post about yoga in addition to natural hair, I find that more persons gravitate to those videos as compared to me just talking about hair. And it's the same for when I post like TikTok videos. It ranges. Instagram is a very unstable
community
environment.
Yeah, I don't really like Instagram like that either. I think
it's a tough space to crack. It's a tough. If you're gonna go to Instagram, you have to bring your A game and your A game always. It's a tough space to crack.
So okay, I have two last questions. Y'all could probably answer them together. What is one thing that you've learned or has resonated with you as a content creator? And what advice would you give to somebody that wants to become a content creator?
Danny?
Oh, I thought it was like YouTube because I kind of already said it. But
yeah, we kind of did already.
Yes, he answered already.
Just do it. Like just do it.
Just do
the
it.
Ads, like those ads.
Okay.
Just do it.
To add to the just do it, because that was one thing I was told too. But when you start, there's no stop. Like there's no turning back unless it's for you to quit. So I wouldn't tell somebody just do it. Because I did not want to hear that when I started. That was not good advice for me when I started. So I'm not gonna tell you just do it. I'm gonna tell you do it with a purpose. There must be a purpose and an intention behind it. And you have to also, because when it gets hard, and trust me, it will, when it gets hard, the only thing that will keep you going is that reason why you started in the first place. Right? So plan, have a plan, have a source of creation, you also need to have a support system. You need some persons or someone at least who will kick you in the gut when you're doing stupidness, right? You have to have somebody there to tell you, listen, this is like, you're getting complacent. I had my sister do that because there was a point where I was sick for like 2 months and I was not feeling to do any kind of content, and my sister's like, you getting complacent now because you sick. Nobody know that you sick. You still have to, like, I was sick. I was hospitalized. And she was like, you getting complacent. I'm like, you sorry for me? She's like, no, they don't know that you're sick. And quite frankly, they don't care that you're sick. You have to keep putting out your content. Right? So that is something that I would tell you. Apart from just do it with an intention and a purpose. Have a plan of action. That's that. What was the other question, Kelly? Let me just answer both and stop talking.
What would the other question was, what have you learned?
I have learned that instead of going for 1.5K views and 600 comments and 500 shares, build a community. Build a solid, like a family then. Build a solid family. If you realize that there are about 10 or 20 people that are always like, I know for me there are about 30 people that are always there. I can guarantee that I'll get 30 views. I can guarantee that I'll get 15 comments. I can guarantee that this amount of persons, or I know who my audience is. I know who my ride or die at this point. I know who they are. Right? So you build a community for your content, that persons that you know are going to receive your content, and target them. Target them and target them hard. Give them the best. Right? Make sure when you're thinking about putting out content, think about your day ones, the ones that are going to watch it. And when you create content for your sure audience, right, when you create content for your sure audience, somebody else is going to click on. They're going to share it with their YM group. That out of that 30, when that 30 shares with another 30, you get 60. And then that's how it expands. But that's what I've learned. And
yeah.
I think that's
I want to add something.
Yeah, go ahead, Nani.
Yeah, so like what you said about having purpose, you definitely need a purpose, or else, you know, like you said, if anything happens, you're just gonna quit.
True.
Right? So I just wanted to share. Like some of my purposes for starting my channel. There's only two. One is I wanted to get a lot more, like, I guess you could say, out of my shell, right? Because I'm a very introverted person. Like, if you knew me like in primary school or something, I wouldn't talk. I'm quiet. And so this is a way to break out of that. And you know, I've seen improvement. You know, I've been much more, I guess, normal on camera or when talking in public. And yeah, so the next reason was I wanted to kind of build a network, like a community, right? Like me as an introvert person, I find it hard to like just go out and just talk to people just randomly and just, you know. So I thought maybe if I made a YouTube channel, I could meet people without meeting people. If you get what I mean? Like you would like there would be a bunch of people who like support what you do, like, and you wouldn't know them, but maybe, and then yeah, maybe you would connect with them later on, or you meet them in person, and it was so cool. So you could call it like getting a little famous, you know, local famous. Not like Beyonce famous, but like you walking on the street, say, oh yeah, you're the guy who makes YouTube. Yeah, or like when you go to the store, you might get a little discount or something, you know.
And Danny, that's nice today.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Like meeting people without you meeting them first, but they already kind of know you. So it's like, yeah, the interaction will be way easier. Like, yeah.
And they give you that, gives you a little push too. Like, you know what? Somebody is actually looking. Like, I am doing something that somebody is learning. Like, one person, somebody met me at the ATM this one time. She's like, oh my God, I just want to tell you, keep doing it, this, that. And I'm like, oh, at least somebody's watching, all right.
Yeah, and then, and the third reason, which I just found out, I just figured out just now. The third reason was because I realized, like, at least for the Cuban scholarship and thing, there's a lot of information that not much people like talk about or don't tell you until you actually reach into the island. So I found maybe I should be like a hub where people could like find out more about coming to Cuba
that
and
could
all
be your
the
niche.
challenges. Yeah, no, it's very niche. On YouTube, I don't think there's much at all, if at all. So yeah.
And that's
Well,
another
that's really
thing. When
good
you find a
and
niche, you
commendable.
exploit it. You can exploit it.
Yeah, but there's a time limit on my niche though. it's a ticking time bomb. Yeah. Someone will carry it on.
I would say that what I learned from my almost year of being on social media is to not take things too personal. As Genine and Brian mentioned, you'd find strangers supporting you way harder than your friends.
Say it
But
again.
you're not supposed to take that too personal,
That's true.
and you're not supposed to allow that to change the relationship that you have with your friends. I would say be grateful for the fact that you could network with strangers and become friends with those strangers and build a community there.
So many strangers that support me. Like, I don't know who you are, but
Yeah.
we talk on Twitter, we talk on Instagram, DM.
Yeah, like friends, like if you already met the person.
Yeah.
And I would say don't take things personal. Be grateful for the fact that you could be here and influence people and make a mark in the area that you truly love. And forget about everything else. Like, your friends would still be your friends. They don't owe you anything. Like, they don't have to like your videos. They don't have to comment. They don't have to do any of that. Just build on what you have with the strangers. So that's something that I took away, and it took a lot of pressure off of the relationships that I had and have with people, because I don't expect anything from you, honestly. But for the strangers that I met on Instagram and Facebook, shout out to y'all. Like, y'all are the best.
The OGs.
Truly. And something that I would say for persons now starting, Instagram, well, social media is all about optics. So in the beginning of whatever you were planning on doing, figure out, do your 5 W's and your H. Is that it? What, why, when, where, how, etc. Yeah. Figure that out. Establish your brand from early, because as Genine was saying in the earlier life, like, when people read your bio, when people look through the grid of your photos, they're looking for a particular optic. And when they see that you bring a certain quality and pizzazz to social media, they decide to follow you. But if they see that you're not putting in that effort that they're looking for, you'll just be lost in the algorithm.
Yeah, and you have to be consistent with that same level too, right? And that brings it back to what I was saying earlier with consistency. You have to be consistent with that level. And Genine made some really, really solid points in that earlier life. Shout out to you, Genine. She made some really, really good points. And what you said about taking things personally, at one point that hit me, because I'm like, I am well known, right? There are a lot of people that I know.
Or so you thought. The
thing is, they know you, right? They know you, you know them. Y'all on a first name basis. But those people you would expect you, and that's where the disappointment comes. It's because of your expectations. You expect because they know you, they're gonna support you. But honestly, sometimes you can't take it too personal. You just have to just let it be. Because honestly, your content might not be for your friends. Honestly, it might not be for your friends. It might not even be for your family. That content will be for somebody in Japan, or somebody in quarantine, or somebody in Linden, or wherever. It might not be for the persons who are around you. So honestly, Tweedale, that's a great point. And that was also something that I had to learn. That personal thing, you just keep doing what you're doing. And when it's time for you to break out and explode, it will happen. And then maybe your family and friends can jump on board.
Not even maybe, but the thing is, again, some of them, they were in your inbox all the time, getting their personal fashion advice, but now that you're posting YouTube videos, they disappear. But,
that's true.
So wait, and these things hit you. And that same thing about they wait till after you've made it, or they see other people paying attention to you, then they start coming and they're messaging you, oh my God, I see what you're doing. I'm like, you are not on the live. How did you see what I'm doing? I post every single day and say, oh, we're doing this or we're doing that. But you wait till afterward, after you see, oh my God, wait, you went there with this person or something. Then they come, oh my gosh, I saw.
Yeah.
But
yep.
one of the things I am holding dear to me is that writing is my passion. Turn it or twist it, somewhere along the line, I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it was my emotional work. I didn't realize it was my outlet. I didn't realize how much things it did for me. So I feel like we need to remember the content part of our content is first for us before it's for anybody else. So when you first make it for yourself, it helps ensure that you're authentic in the message that you want to bring. And then if you value yourself, you'll do something that is valuable to you. You will produce that value. And if you produce value or you produce something of value, persons will recognize it and they'll come to it. So I feel like before anything else, as a content creator, as somebody sharing something, as somebody trying to send a message, you first need to receive that message for yourself. And then the way that you love it, give it that love so that other people can get the same feeling. So that was the end of my questions. That was the end of my questions. If anybody has anything to say before we go, before I wrap this up.
I want to say something. I don't know if you guys do it too, but this is like, I guess more specific to YouTube. But do you guys like have maybe like an album or like a photo gallery of like screenshots of like the good comments that you get or something like that? Because like I found that it's really helpful for when you're feeling down and you're like, maybe this YouTube thing isn't going up.
That's
cool. Look at the photo gallery.
An idea that I never thought about it. I actually didn't think about that, Danny. That's a good idea.
Whoa, that's
really good. It's really good. I recommend it. 11 out of 10.
I am definitely going to
screenshot
that one.
But like when persons message me and like, oh my gosh, your hair flourishing or whatever, and I would reach out to them and give them a whole breakdown of what they should do and stuff like that. And then a month or two later, they're like, girl, you saved me, da 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 da. And I'm like, yes, this is my purpose right here.
Yes. There is satisfaction in feedback. There is great satisfaction in feedback.
Great satisfaction. Honestly. In January, I don't even think it was planned. Sometime in January, I somehow just remembered all the persons that I lost last year. And the thing about it is losing somebody in Cuba is very hard, but losing somebody away from home is very hard because you know that the last time you saw them was months ago. You haven't seen them, you didn't get to talk to them, you didn't get to say any goodbyes or anything. And so many people lost their lives. In actuality, my aunt died yesterday. And the thing was, I had plans for yesterday, like I was supposed to do something yesterday and I was in no condition to get it done. And that wasn't planned content. What I had planned to do, I already made a structure and stuff, but somehow I thought about the person that I lost and I wrote a poem called Remembrance. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first poem I posted for this year, 2021. And it just so happened that somebody that I sent the poem to, no, this person is not on my broadcast list. They posted something that I felt somehow I got the feeling that something was going on with them. So I feel like this person needs it. And I sent it to them only to find out that somebody had just died for them. So, and that tends to happen from time to time. And the response are like, when I get to use whatever I wrote as a bridge between a situation that somebody else had, it opens up dialogue. And this is one of the reasons, like, I started the lives. I wanted to start since last year, and I was making excuses that in my head are still valid that I'm trying to fix. But I said, you know what? Listen, that I'm still trying to fix, but I just wanted to start because I realized that I was answering the same questions over and over again. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on live. I'm going to discuss it. Everybody can be able to access it the same way they access the poems. So, Danny, thank you very much. That is something that I think I am going to do. I'm going to put into practice. For those days when I feel like this isn't making sense and like I really should be sleeping or something instead of hurting my head over Instagram and WhatsApp and WordPress. Brian is saying, when you want to stop, you never know how much your content may be helping someone. You don't always see it, and that's very true. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys, Tevi, Tweedale, Daniel, for talking tonight with me, sharing the gems for other persons that might want to do it, really letting people know about the things that we face and we deal with, and just sharing the behind the scenes of the things that we create. So thank you. Please check out the Torie Standard on YouTube for all your fashion, faith, dance, and I'm missing one, style. That's fashion, honey. No, seriously. And no, seriously. Outfits. She got it. She got you. Guys and girls, not just, one. Listen, so my organic hair that grows naturally products, I haven't got them yet. So check out Tweedale for the persons in Guyana to get your hair flourishing. I'm not on the boat yet because she started after I would have left. So that is definitely something I want to do because I do, especially being in Cuba, use a lot of natural products. I make my own moisturizer. If you want to learn about the natural hair, if you want to learn about the Cuban life, get places to tour, learn about equipment, get good music from new talent, not just the Beyonce, Jay-Z and all of that. Check out Daniel's page. Your YouTube is your name, right? Daniel.hung.
Yeah, so, Daniel.hung.
Yeah. So, yes, go follow them on Instagram. Check out the link. If you want, check out the link in my bio. Furthermore, tomorrow at 7, I'm posting the Mother's Day poem. So if you want the plug to make your mommy cry tomorrow, you remember to go and check the link in my bio, okay? Have a good night. It was lovely talking with you all.
Good night, everybody. Bye, Daniel.
See ya. Bye.
Love you, Kel.
Bye, my love.